system. I see. But as Babu has told you, this matter is coming back to Parliament. And our instruction to our members is to ensure that you go back to universal franchise. One man, one vote. One man, one vote, 1 shilling. Okay? We will work to see that this happens. Then, this issue of funding model which they have brought here, it's very confusing. It is not quite clear. Because they're talking about those without any means who will get 100% support, those with some little bit of ability or support, and then those who don't require support at all. And you ask yourself, where is the barometer? Are you going to test the temperature? You will see that so and so parents are employed, but that fellow who is employed is actually supporting 10 students or children. Somebody is probably earning less down here, but is only supporting one student. This student went to a national school. Then it's assumed that the student has got means. How do you know? Going to a national school is just because of the marks that you received at the examination. And maybe your uncle can offer to sponsor you. Or just a friend with the family can offer to sponsor you because you've done well. That does not mean that this fellow is going to sponsor you at the university. So all these things they're coming about with are things which have not been tested. They are basically like people who are walking in the dark. And then the issue of using police in the institutions of learning is again something that we have condemned very strongly. That universities should be allowed to do their things, and the police should not be used excessively in the universities. Students should be able to engage and dialogue with the university authorities. That is the civilized way of running universities. But we are dealing with a state that has gone rogue too early. Too early. And that is where we are having these problems. Now, we set down ourselves as members of Azimio and looked at education in a country. Because education is what actually differentiates societies. You find a country like Japan does not have any kind of natural resources of any of repute. Japan does not have minerals, does not have gold, does not have oil, does not have uranium, and so on and so forth. But Japan is number 3 in the world in terms of economic development. How? Basically because of the quality of education of the Japanese people. That is what has put Japan where it is. They use their brains to create wealth. And this is what has been lacking in the African continent. Because Africa is the richest continent on the planet Earth in terms of natural resources. The paradox is that the richest in resources is also the poorest. That the living conditions in Africa is far much below the other countries which do not have as much resources as Africa has. And that is what we said we wanted to correct. And it can be corrected. But it can only be corrected by empowering the African people, right from the African child, going up. And here, you must talk about the girl child and the boy child. Give them equal opportunity to be able to realize their natural talents. This is why we said that we want to start by creating free primary, secondary, and even university education. And then, because then you have empowered the people. But you also talk about the quality of education. What kind of education are you giving these people? See, today you have a problem here, where you have got universities all over. When we were here, when Jim was a student here, they are some of the first students to join University of Nairobi. It used to be University College of Nairobi. I was employed by University College of Nairobi, which was a constituent college of the University of East Africa, whose headquarters were in Makerere, in Kampala. So Nairobi was a campus, Dar es Salaam was a campus, and Makerere a campus. That time. Then, of course, eventually we got University of Nairobi. Then now eventually we started Kenyatta College. We used to call it Kenco. It also became a university. Then the proliferation of universities now all over the country. We now have, I don't know how many public universities. How many? Huh? 72 universities in the country. But what is important is the quality of education which is coming out of these universities. It's important. And this should be looked at in terms of demand for skills in the country, so that education is relevant to the demands on the market in our country. You see, you find a situation here where you've got many companies around looking for people to employ. And then you have got many people with certificates from universities looking for employment. But they're not employable here. The jobs which are available are not commensurate with the qualifications of those who are demanding the jobs. So we need to find a way in which we can match the demand of society with what is being trained in our schools of learning, in universities, so that there is no gap. Some people have papers, but these papers are not useful to them. So we need to make it relevant. I've been telling people that, look, how does China manage to come from a poor third world economy to number 2 in the world, threatening the United States? In the next 10 years, China is going to be the biggest economy in the world. How did they do it? They did it by first making education universal and ensuring that they give people relevant qualifications, the people, highly skilled. So when they liberalized and they found the companies from the West who were looking for destinations where there's cheap labor, they went to China. And there they found highly skilled, cheap labor in China. And that is why they went and made China. China became the workshop of the world. You go and find Samsung is manufactured in China. Daewoo is manufactured in China. Mercedes, Benz, Volvo, Peugeot, Toyota, Ford, all manufactured in China. But I used to work in the Mercedes company factory in a place called Stuttgart. They told me that it is cheaper to manufacture Mercedes now in China, ship it back to Germany, than the one which is manufactured in Germany. So China became the factory of the world. Now China has been able to build the biggest middle class, 500 million people, middle class. Chinese middle class is bigger than the entire population of the United States. Nearly double. So now China is no longer the cheapest. A vacuum is building down there, which Kenya can actually fill with proper policies. But you cannot do it if you've got mediocrity and the kind of rogues and thieves running our affairs. These thieves will take us nowhere. The cost of living, which Jimmy is talking about here, will not go down when these thieves are in charge. This cost of living will not go down. You see, today, people are suffering all over. If those who are saying that demonstrations by Azimio haribu biashara yetu,
dropping leaflets at bus stops and so on. But now, organizing people for change to happen is a lot easier with communications being what it is today. And even without going around with a van like this one, you can organize a meeting. What happened in Cairo that brought down Mubarak was something which was not organized through
whom we owe our loyalty, to Baba the Great, who has made us be where we are, to Baba the Great, who is the people's president. Thank you so much. To the student leaders, the chairmen who are here, stroke presidents, to the secretaries general, and to other student leaders in various positions. Good morning. It's still morning. Good morning. I'm Babu Owino, Member of Parliament, Embakasi.
And from Saudi Arabia. But they themselves are the ones who are making the commissions. That's why the cost of fuel is going up. That money is actually ending up in the pockets of the same people here. Mbwa inakula watoto yake. Okay? So we are together, comrades. Are we together? Yes, are we together? Yes, comrade power. Comrade power. Comrade power. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much.
Power. Comrade power. Wacha baba itwe. Wacha baba itwe. Baba, thank you very much for your wisdom. You are like a granary. You know, when a granary burns, you'll be crying.